Hello and welcome to the second episode of 5Ws and 1H. On this episode we will cover more countries and more sports, and we will continue addressing critical issues and thoughts about how events will be in the era of COVID-19.
Everybody's planning for the future, but we're going to have to take baby steps as we start to reopen, I think.
It's not the end of the world if we don't have a competition now. What it could be the end is that some of our sports people or people related to the sports could die because we will expose them to a virus, to a lethal virus.
Yorgos, according to historians, pandemics typically have two types of endings. The first one is the medical, which occurs when the incidence and death, rates plummet, and the social, the second one, when the epidemic of fear about the disease wanes, which means people are sick of being afraid. The only thing that will be the same is that what the World Health Organization said, that we will not have in 2020 events over 5,000 participants. We're going to have smaller events, but not big events.
China is getting back to normalcy. It's kind of a new normal, as people call it. And they've really taken the time to do it in a step-log manner. So it's the government has been very cautious in slowly opening up. CBA and CSL are the two big professional leagues here, so the Chinese Super League and then the Chinese Basketball Association. And both of them, I understand, are in the works to restart. They will be run similar to, say, the Bundesliga, right? So at the beginning, you wouldn't have fans in the stadium. You wouldn't have, you might not have the fans or the players travel. You might do it with the way the NBA does, where you go to one location and you're able to play quite a lot of games within a short amount of time because everyone's in the same place, and that way you can have a confined space for the players. So that, with the virus, it has changed our season a little bit, and now it looks like we will be starting in early June and early July. And that timetable has shifted a few times already, but it looks like now, working with the national government, the local government, and then the local sports authorities, it looks like these dates are pretty much set. For mass participation, right now we're mostly depending on the government and society as a whole in terms of these potential virus infections, meaning that due to, say, for example, in Wuhan, there's 13 million people. They have all been tested, and they have not found a single case, right? So in a place like that, we feel pretty confident to host our own event.
If we're talking about my favorite sports, my baby, if I can say so, it is swimming. Well, cancelled all events. Perhaps the first events in, let's say, summer sports may start at the end of October.
But still, you have to consider it's a group of 5 maximum in the pool. Now this week it changed to a group of 10 humans in the pool, and we're talking about a pool of 10 lanes of 50 meters. Like, it's a pretty big pool. But we're still limited in the amount of humans they could come to practice. And we have to, after every practice, we have to clean the whole deck and everything. So it's still a lot of work around this to really run practices. We don't know if there is any competition. So our national federation tries to schedule a competition like in December in Berlin, like a big national swimming event, but it's nothing officially confirmed.
European Champions League was suspended. I think it might be cancelled. There was a number of Olympic qualifying tournaments because not all teams have qualified yet for Tokyo, and they've all been cancelled and rescheduled for next year. The World Championships, which were due in 2021, has now been put back. This is the Aquatics World Championship. That was due in 2021. It's now been put back to 2022. So they've had to shuffle all competitions back. I'm not sure when they'll be back playing in Europe. I dare say they're suffering a lot more than we are in Australia, so they're going to be in lockdown for probably longer than we are, especially countries like Italy and Spain, who are particularly hard hit. Australia, I think, will be back playing. I'd say we'll be back in the pool probably by about September, maybe October. I think we'll be back to maybe some form of competition.
A big event here in Italy, which is the World Cup. We have a World Cup every year in Italy, the only one in our country. And it was scheduled for April, then June, now September. And we still don't know whether this will happen or not. We all hope that somehow we will be able to present this World Cup, but we are not sure we can do that.
Well, the big events, Yorgos, they're all postponed until 2021. That means European Championships and World Championships, everything postponed. And then there's still the small events, which are not World Cups or Europeans or World Championships. And they can decide each by their own. So the first small event that I have would be in Budapest in Hungary in September. And they are still waiting, see what will happen. And if things are more or less okay, they will just go. They will do it. Yeah, maybe with limited number of spectators, but for the big events, it's definitely 2021.
I get the impression that most players think that the 2020 season right now in tennis is pretty much done. Like, they haven't officially canceled the Rogers Cup. They haven't officially canceled the French Open or the US Open. Everyone's kind of waiting for those statements to come out or those decisions to be made and made official. I just think that, there's so many factors that have to go into putting on a tournament just in general when we're in normal life. I think that it becomes even harder to put a tournament on now when you have to worry about all these other things that you have to do. And is it worth risking your health and the health of your family to come back and play for the rest of this year? I think a lot of players would think, and I'm kind of this mindset too, just scrap this year, call it quits, forget about it, and let's focus on the start of 2021. Obviously the players want to get back and playing, but at the same time, especially the top players, you have to think health first. And a lot of players don't need the money. A lot of players do need the money. So if you're in a situation, if you're one of the top 5, 10 players in the world and you've already got 10, 20 million, 50 million in your bank account, the urge to come back and play is probably, in my opinion, not as great as a player who's number 200 in the world, who's really struggling, who needs the money, and who would probably take the chance to come back.
Yes, okay, Bundesliga is back, and it's happening behind closed doors. But for a game, even without fans to happen, it takes a lot of people. It takes hundreds of people to put the game on. And protecting their safety and protecting their health is also very important.
I think the marathons, for example, as does arena sports, they bring so many people together. It isn't just the event or the race or the sporting event, but it's also bringing, thousands and thousands of people into hotel rooms, into restaurants where they're really, really close together. And so far, I think I'm really proud of the organizers. None of these decisions have been very easy, and they come at a cost to them. But I think they've done the right thing and erred on the side of caution, trying to make sure that their constituency is not one that passes around this virus. But I think, Yorgos, there's so much we don't know.
People expecting that this problem of the COVID-19 could be a 3 months, 4 months problem, so able to solve it in the second half. but now the doubt is coming.
So we will change the rules, but we will change also the way to present the sport.
My fear is that it could not be only 2020. It could also be, from the point of view calendar, getting into 2021.
Thanks for watching 5W Gen 1H. Stay safe, stay tuned, stay updated. Take care.